What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon St. Brown.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Blue Crew? This is Ball Hawk, fought to another final of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody. Woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your momentary host, Dan O'Damas, and I'm here to give you some grand predictions for this weekend's most epically debated game between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions. I foresee as I look into the Tower of Fate, and I have veered many times into the basketball of destiny to let you know that the Detroit Lions will get themselves another victory as they score 45 points and limit the Minnesota Vikings to just 36 points. Minnesota will have not just one, not just two, but 3 interceptions thrown by Darnold. Darnold will cry many times as he looks up at the scoreboard and understands his team will not leave Ford Field victorious. The Minnesota fans that predicted they would score 50 or more points will lose a lot of money on sports booking websites, and they will not be able to afford their Monday morning Mountain Dew. But anyways, for the Detroit Lions, Dan O'Damas has thought long and hard. He has looked into the heavens and realized that Jahmyr Gibbs will have nearly 200 total yards from the line of scrimmage. Jared Goff will have a 135 passer rating en route to having over 280 yards passing. And yes, there will be many Lions offensive players putting up big numbers, but I want us to pay attention to 2 defenders for the Detroit Lions. I have looked, I have studied, and the Mountain Dew gods have reached down to me to give me grand visions of Levi Onwuzurike having 2.5 sacks. And yes, a most unlikely person will have not 1, but 2 interceptions. And Trevor Nowalski will have 2 interceptions, and they will be very pivotal plays for the Detroit Lions to go on out there this upcoming weekend and secure the number 1 seed. Mwah! Well, thank you, Dan O'Damas, for making a weekly guest appearance on the show. You know, he has to come up with a lot of free time to get on over here and talk to the Mountain Dew gods and reach into the basketball fate, the Tower of Destiny, to come up with these grand foretellings of the future. But anyways, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I am now your host, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for coming on in today to Lions Talk Live. It is Friday. It is Friday morning. We are 2 days away from, hey, let's face it, the biggest game in the NFL's regular season. It's going to be hard to find something in NFL history that even matches this thing. We get it. There's never been 2 14-win teams facing off in the same division, let alone across the NFL for a regular season game. Yes, the schedule is longer than it used to be. That plays a part into it. But the other part is quite simply this. These are 2 dang good teams. There's not many holes on this team. There are injuries on the Lions. We all get it. I'm not here to talk about that. We are going to talk about this matchup. We do have Kurt the Hitman Steele joining us at the bottom of the hour, so 7:30 or halfway through this episode if you're watching this on a delayed basis. We've got the 5 headlines now. We've got it all. Real quick before we get into that, if you can hit the subscribe button, please consider doing so. We're trying to make that push for 12,600 subs. We're about 51 subs away from that, so if you can help with that, that would be phenomenal. Also, if you have a half second time, it's free of charge. Reach on down, hit that thumbs up button, that like button. We try to get every video between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. So if you can have a good heart, reach on down. It's free of charge. Go ahead and do that. Last but never least, if you are looking perhaps for something to read, maybe a gift for somebody, maybe you didn't have an opportunity to go ahead and get something for somebody on Christmas, I don't know. Go ahead and go over to Amazon.com or wherever you find good reading literature and order Kajora book. It is the first in a 9-part series. The second book releases later this year, involves Native American and Japanese cultures. It's a fictional story based around some historical facts. If you enjoy the book, please consider leaving a good, kind review. All right, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and head over to the first segment of the day, and that is 5 Headlines Now. Some of you guys say that sometimes you can't really see me, so I wore something as non-black as I could find for today's show, although most of my wardrobe probably is black just because I enjoyed that. But anyways, today we're going with something that really makes me pop out on the screen. All right, NFL rumors why Jaguars could be, quote, best option for Ben Johnson over Bears by Sonny Grado of Clutch Points. Hey, we all get it. Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, they're all going to be in demand. There's going to be other people we're not even listing that are going to be in demand. Detroit Lions are going to have some people probably getting offers to go elsewhere once this season's over. But you know what? The season ain't going to be over for a while. So we're going to kick this around probably between now and then. I do think they're right. Excuse me, that the Jaguars, at least to me, would be a better option than the Chicago Bears. The reason I have behind it is the fact that I think the NFC North is going to be a logjam of some very good teams, some of the NFL's best teams. Let's face it, the Green Bay Packers are number 3 in the division. Would they be number 3 or number 1 in most other divisions? Probably number 1. I think you do have something there with Ben Johnson wanting to consider if you took over the Jaguars. Could you have a better, more realistic opportunity to go ahead and win the division? We will see, my friend. Kurt Steele sending me a text, and he says, okay, yep, so he's all set. All right, moving on to the next one. Let's see, Detroit Lions sending NFC best 7 players to the 2025 Pro Bowl game, CBS Sports. And yes, I am aware that Kirby Joseph kind of got the shaft, I guess you could say, over not making the Pro Bowl. I'm not really sure why that happened. If he ends up being the defensive player of the year, then, man, that really just kind of throws a lot of shade at the Pro Bowl overall. How could you have somebody who's, we can at least say, even in contention to win the defensive player of the year and not be considered a Pro Bowl player? For those who don't know, Gibbs, St. Brown, Penei Sewell, Goff, Frank Ragnow joined Jack Fox, strong safety Brian Branch to the Pro Bowl for the Detroit Lions. And yes, we all probably get if Aiden Hutchinson hadn't got hurt, he would have been there as well. Goff, who is currently second in the NFL with, we'll just say 4,400 passing yards, a 71.7 quarterback rating, 4th in touchdown passes, makes his 4th Pro Bowl appearance, while St. Brown, a favorite target of Goff, is getting his 3rd call to the Pro Bowl. And we won't go through them all. We get it. Lions have had a bunch of guys that have had really strong years. And you can maybe make an argument that, yes, indeed, Kirby Joseph should be on that list. Maybe 1 or 2 other players, but, that's the nature of things. I'm actually pretty surprised Kevin Zittler didn't get in there because, in my opinion, if he's not the best guard in football right now, he's in the top 3. Aaron Glenn, you're dang right, end quote. Detroit Lions can win a Super Bowl with this defense. Story by Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press. And I'm going to summarize my thoughts with what Aaron Glenn just said. He's right, 100%. Is there enough here for you to win with? Yes. When you look at the other side of the ball and say, hey, the offense can realistically put up 30 or more points per game, can this defense do enough to get 2, 3, 4, 5 stops a game? It's possible 100%. It's going to come down to situations. It's going to come down to this entire team playing together. The symbiotic relationship that exists in football, unlike almost any other sport, is magnified by this statement. Can they win the Super Bowl with this team? Absolutely, without question. Yes, getting some of the injured players back is only going to help with that, especially the more they can shake off rust. But you look at, I think we talked about it yesterday on the show, you look at Aaron Glenn, MCDC, they come from New Orleans Saints. When the Saints won the Super Bowl, their defense was not great. Their defense was predicated, though, off trying to get a few turnovers a game. They understood they didn't have the manpower, the firepower, whatever you want to say, to really go out there and be like the 85 Bears or maybe the 2000 Ravens or something like that. I mean, they weren't just going to hold people to three and outs. But what they did is they kept trying to force teams into, hey, can we get 1, 2, 3 bad reads a game a pass that's a little high, a little off target, and now we make a play on that ball. Yes, they could, and that's where I think Aaron Glenn is 1,000% right with this. Anyway, Alex Anzalone injury update. Detroit Lions linebacker cast doubts on return versus Vikings, story by Dave Burkett, Detroit Free Press. This is where I guess opinions may vary. So I look at it this way, and hey, Dave Burkett can look at it whatever way. Because Alex Anzalone has a cast on it or a protective gear on it, I think that's pretty normal given the circumstances. I actually think the fact they had him on the field, at least during the 15 minutes open to reporters, and at the extent they did during that time, I think that's a pretty dang good sign. MCDC, remember, during pressers this week said Friday would be the big test for him. They want to see, hey, day 1, Wednesday, day 2, Thursday, did he progress upwards? It would appear that he did. So now today, if he's out there and he's a full go again, I'm guessing he's out there. Unless they just completely feel that that arm is not in a safe place, or if he goes out there, he could re-injure it. From what I know, and again, I'm not that kind of doctor. I can say this, that the bone should be fully healed and actually stronger than it was. Now, whether or not any kind of ligament damage or something like that's else happened, that I don't know about. But I would be surprised if Alex Anzalone isn't activated for this weekend. And then it would come down to, how many, what percentage of the snaps do you want him on the field? We'd have to wait until the game time to find out with that. All right, Vikings-Lions injury update. Aaron Jones limited. Alex Anzalone upgraded, story by Jonathan Harris of SI.com. And Harrison, is a Vikings reporter, just so you know, not a Lions reporter. But what we can say is there's all sorts of different reports out there about who's injured, who's not, what their status is. And like we were just saying with Dave Burkett, well, now you got somebody that is the opposite of it. So, I'm not going to go on too deep to all this because so much of it can change between now and Sunday. But in regards to just the Minnesota Vikings, Gritter Hill, he was out, with an illness Wednesday, and same with Thursday. Hey, that time of year, a lot of that going on. Patrick Jones II, knee injury, did not practice Wednesday nor Thursday. CJ Ham, this is for the Vikings in case you don't recognize the names. Quad injury, limited Wednesday, full practice on Thursday. Aaron Jones Sr., quad injury, limited both days, so Wednesday and Thursday. Let's see, Maro, boy, I've killed that name too. Hip injury, limited both days. Harrison Smith, limited on Wednesday, full go yesterday. Josh Oliver, full practice both days. Ed Ingram did not go at all on Wednesday, was limited yesterday. So while we all get it, the Lions are a little beat up, other teams also have injuries. For the Lions, really, it's just from who did not practice Thursday, guard Christian Mahogany, illness. So it's sort of like Emmanuel Mosley, who's been out for the 2 days with illness. It's that time of year, stuff going around. And I also get from a coaching standpoint, you want to keep those people isolated. You don't want it passing on to the rest of the team. I guess what I would say is at some point you're going to have to make a call with all of them. The good news is for the Detroit Lions is cornerback Amik Robinson did return full participant yesterday. Same with Jack Campbell. We did a story on them being a little limited a couple days ago. It's any kind of questions that may have arisen from them being out of practice or limited at practice. Hey, that was put to rest by these guys being back. All right, with all those out of the way, let's go ahead and now get over to the main topic today. We're going to get into some predictions for this one for sure. All right, predictions. Let's see. We're going to start off with USA Today. Hey, and there are so many different places going to different spots for this. I know NFL.com, they were kind of mixed as far as with their weekly report, their video, who's going to win, who's not going to win. But that seems to be the case around the entire planet. Everybody's got different thoughts on this. We're going to start off with Jared Ramsey, the Detroit Free Press. He's got the Lions winning 34-31. Hey, good for him. He is a Lions reporter. I'd be upset if he didn't go with that. Going on to other ones here. Let me scroll and find these here. Okay, scrolling on down, getting to them. All right, boy, where are they? All right, Krasinski. This is a from The Athletic. He's got the Lions winning by 3. He's got 37-34. He goes on what he likes watching. He's as far as the matchups, he thinks the Lions have to shut down Justin Jefferson. I think most of us would agree with that. He's going to have to force, according to him, Lions are going to have to force the ball to go to other spots with that. thinks the Lions are going to have to play more zone this game, even though he understands Aaron Glenn likes to play person-to-person defense or man-to-man defense across the board. He just doesn't think the Lions will match up well in that regard doing so. I would also probably agree with that. Lewis also from The Athletic has the Vikings winning 31-29. This is the inverse of the first matchup. It just feels right given the universe we're living in. One sneaky aspect to the game is who the Lions are going to keep in the backfield to pass protect. If this one is Gibbs, he feels it's one of Gibbs's weak points. Actually, I'd say he's actually done a pretty good job in recent weeks with that. He also thinks that special teams could play a massive role in this game. In the end, I think he thinks the Vikings passing game will be too overpowering for the Detroit Lions defense. There's probably going to be a lot of people that have that point. I think that the Lions have enough firepower to kind of offset some of the Vikings' abilities. And yes, the Vikings do have a massively good offense. They've did a great job pass protecting. I just think, hey, the home field, and I've gone on through it during the week, so I don't want to go on to it too much. My ultimate thoughts here are that the Lions are going to win partially because of you, the fans, the people at the stands. I think it's going to be so deafening in there, and I think Aaron Glenn, if you go back and watch last game, and you could even say the game before that, he is mixing more and more coverages into the mix, and then some of that I think is just a necessity. He's going to have to do stuff more than just man-to-man. I get the Lions still play over the course of the season. I want to say it's like 57% of all defensive snaps are man-to-man defense. But in recent weeks, at least from what I can see in the last two games, that's come down to about 48% of the time is man. They are mixing in a lot more zone coverage. And again, I think they have to do it out of necessity at this point. So why does that matter? And again, going back to the fan noise, the crowd noise, all that, if it was me, and I don't know Aaron Glenn is going to do this, but I suspect there's a lot of truth to it. Once Sam Darnold breaks the huddle, Glenn is going to show one coverage. And then once he gets under center, I think the Lions are going to, at that point, switch coverage. I think they're going to do that consistently throughout the game. And because of the loud crowd noise, that's going to put a lot of burden on Sam Darnold, the Minnesota Vikings, if they force the Vikings into long, 8-play, 20-play, whatever it is, 15-play drives over and over. Every time they do that, somebody has got to, one, beat the play clock from coming down to zero. The other part is all 11 guys on the Minnesota Vikings, when they can't hear each other, they're going to have to make sure everybody gets on the same page what the new adjustments are, either blocking at the line of scrimmage, running back staying into chip, whatever it is. If somebody's off and the Lions and Aaron Glenn are sending a blitz or whatever, that's where an opportunity for a sack, a tip pass, a pick is going to happen. And I just think over the course of the game, if you can consistently do that to them while you go down and put up points, I think ultimately that's where the advantage is for Detroit. Home field advantage is something. And I was talking to my team about it a little bit yesterday, especially in a situation like this. Now, as long as the Lions don't do anything to shoot themselves in the foot, I think they're going to pull this one out. I'm going to go with Dan O'Damas's grand prediction on that one. All right, you guys have heard me talk about it. You guys already know the Minnesota Vikings, their fans, they're talking about dropping 50-some points on us. And to a certain degree, I get with all that. If you're a player, you want to believe you can do anything. You always want that kind of confidence. Same with the coaching staff. To go out there and pull it out bulletin board material, something you can paste in the locker room and say, here's an extra bit of motivation. That's where I would think the Minnesota Vikings are not doing themselves a good service. We all get you look at the makeup of the Detroit Lions teams from a personality standpoint over anybody in the front office, coaching staff, the players. They are always looking for chips on their shoulder. You look at it from, St. Brown on down, Jared Goff, whatever, and now that you're adding more to that, I think this could be a huge game for the Detroit Lions. And who knows, man? Maybe I'm completely wrong with the prediction, or Dan O'Damas is wrong with the prediction. Maybe it's not a 6 or 7 point game. Maybe it's a 10 to 12 to 14 point victory for the Lions. Because, again, the situation's already outlined. I'm not going to repeat them all. All right, Duker, we've got about 10 minutes until Kurt Steele gets over here. So let me scroll to the top of the screen in the comments section. Give me a minute. I see there's a few chats here, and I'm still scrolling, and here we go. All right, JDC, morning all, back at you. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. Team of the year in the game of the year, exclamation point. I see Super Bowl, woo, and back at you, my friend. Rob, greetings, salutations, coach of Duke Crew. The Lions are the grooviest at you. I concur with your assessment of the situation. Shamir, greetings, salutations, Duke family, and good morning to you. Flathead Frank, Amon-Ra St. Brown, a 14-win team shouldn't have to go on the road in the playoffs. The NFL should change the rules. Woo! It is what it is, though. Here's what I would say. I understand that a 14-win team shouldn't have to go on the road. The other thing I will say is, if I'm the NFL at least, you want the divisions to matter. You want every game in the division to matter. You don't want to end up becoming the NBA, where the NBA nowadays, when I grew up, I love the rivalry. Pistons, Celtics, Pistons, Bulls, and everything. You look across the NBA anymore, there's just no rivalries because, just the culture has changed. The way divisions matter or don't matter. The regular season's kind of been watered down. So some of that's been taken away, and I think the NFL wants to try to avoid that. At least that's my thoughts on it. I love the basketball. Clearly, I coach it to death. I just wish that they would bring back some of the heated rivalries or try to find a way to rekindle those in the NBA and maybe even in other sports. Lauren, good morning, coach and Duke Crew. Back at you. How you doing? Michigan Panther Pride episode 4 is up on YouTube. We'll check it out. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Working this morning, and please don't make me work more than I need to. Be careful driving. Yeah, 100%. I understand we're under a bit of a winter storm advisory. I want to say Jen said till later today, and I got to go to Grand Rapids later today to show some homes. So JDC, Magic 8 Ball says, Lions Super Bowl, question mark? Hex yeah, I'll take that, my friend, 100%. Flathead Justin Jefferson, I am excited, and I am not going to be able to sleep Saturday night. Woo! Hey, it's get your sleep in. You're going to need to stay up and watch the game and be energized for it. Big Eddie, greetings, salutations. Thank you, Stephanie, for all you and other first responders do for us all. Stay warm, 100%. Keep their job easy by not messing up on the roads. Shamir, Sunday night we will be 15-2, have the number 1 seed, a bye week, and we will be kings of the North. All roads lead through Detroit. I see Super Bowl. Woo! I think you're right. I think you're 100% right with that. I think coming into Detroit for the playoffs, that ain't going to be easy for anybody. Flathead Frank, if you don't like the woo in the morning, get headphones. I got some wireless ones for Xmas. Hey, there you go. Paperbacks fan, greetings, salutations, Duke Crew, back at you. Good to see you. It's been a minute. Happy Friday all. Can't wait until Sunday night. Lions 35-17, Super Bowl, no bust. I like the way you're thinking. Man, I would take that and score it in a moment. Tori, personally, I think AG has something planned for this game. I don't know why, but I think he will have a few different things to pull out during the game. I think you're spot on with that thought process. I think he does have some things set up. I think the Lions do. I think they've shown some stuff, some misdirection stuff, but they've also been practicing some other things. JDC Magic 8 Ball says Lions 40, Vikings 27. I'll go with that. Shamir, them boys going to play lights out. I think you're right with that. I think you're spot on with that. I think, Dan O'Donnell should have mentioned it. I think Ife Melifanu is a big advantage and one that I really haven't heard national media when talking about this game. They've talked about, hey, this guy's out for Detroit. He played the first game. This guy didn't play for Minnesota. I haven't heard any of them mention Ife Melifanu, and I do think he's a factor. You watch what he can do, what he can cover, and what I think that Aaron Glenn is going to unleash on Minnesota. I think he's going to have a bigger role than most of us are anticipating. 70, thanks for saying that, Big Eddie. It's a love-hate job at times. I bet it is. But I do enjoy helping everyone. You always have, man. You always have. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Exclamation point. That a team? Yes, it is a team. It's a good team. Jared, let's go Lions. I concur. Jason, I'm in the belly of the beast here in Minnesota. I will say the confidence is growing. Grit wins, Superdome, or bust. 100%. Their confidence is growing. Man, I messed that one up. Trey, what's going on? Duke Crew? Question mark. Is it Sunday night yet? Not just yet. I'm feeling a certain way about this one. I can't imagine how the team is feeling. I'm sure if anybody can walk, be on the field, do anything, they're going to want to be out there. I mean, that's just how teams are wired, and I get it, man. This is a big one. JDC, Tree of Destiny, always out there. Let's see. Jess, greetings, salutations. So what do we have cooked up to limit the Vikings offense? Any ideas? I kind of gave it out earlier, so I'm sure you already heard that, but I think we're going to mix coverages and just do a lot of stuff to force the Minnesota Vikings to consistently, every play, go out there, communicate, in under pressure with the crowd noise without making any mistakes or being on the wrong page. Wayne, we're going to win. We're going to win. I like the way you're thinking. Robert, greetings and salutations, coach and crew. Same to you, my friend. Good to see you. Manberg, good morning. Dan O'Damas. Dan O'Damas was in his house. Let's see, Frank, JMO, I have been celebrating big plays since I was 6 or 7 years old. TD blocks and tackles. His whole team, included their coaches, planned a dance when they scored the first TD. Woo! I'll go with that. Hey, good for them, man. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. All right, let's see, Robert. Tree of Destiny will be very important Sunday night. I think you're 100% right there, 100%. Manberg, good morning. Dan O'Rue and Scooby-Doo crew, good morning to you too. Wayne, this is easily a top 5 Lions game in my lifetime. I'm 64, exclamation point. Woo! Oh, yeah, we live for Dan. I live for you guys too, man. So it's mutual. Tamir, Kirby going to have 5 picks. TA going to get a pick 6. And Z going to get 5 sacks. Them are my predictions. I'll take your predictions. I like your predictions. Jess, any gut feeling who might step up for us on defense? I do think you're going to see some guys step up. You know, could it be Nowalski? Sure. Could it be Levi Onwuzurike? Sure. Josh Pascal? I mean, we all get it. Sam Darnold can run. Is he, Steve Young? Is he Warren Moon? Is he somebody who's really got some explosive ability? No, but if you give him the right situation, again, I think that'll be part of it too, limiting him getting out of the pocket, whether running or just extending plays. Joe C., good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke crew, exclamation points. Ready for the Lions to put a beat down on the Vikings, 100%. Woo! One pride. Coach, let's go. Lions win 37-33. I like the way you're thinking. Wayne, love not live. We love you, Dano. Go Lions. Woo! Oh, yeah. Hey, we'd love you guys too. Jason, 2 playoff roads emerge after Sunday. The first is smooth and even comfortable. The second looks like a trail to Everest. Either way, we've got this. No, I think you're spot on with it, Jason. I think whatever situation we get in the playoffs, we're gonna still achieve the goal that we want. Just the way those teams wired, the mentality of it. If we were to go on the road, I still see us getting to the Super Bowl and winning. France, we are all expecting AG will blitz and force the issue. I'm starting to think it's going to be the opposite. AG will force Minnie to go on a long 10, 15 play drives and not make mistakes. You might be spot on with that, 100%. Susan, good morning, all. This is a great way to end the regular season. But if the Vikings could have lost a few other games beforehand, I would have just been as happy. Yeah, 100%. I get that. I think most of us would have been. JDC, Dre Forge rocks, and he rolls. Papa Noel, Sunday will be the most challenging contest. I do believe we shall find victory. I think we're all in agreement on that. So good morning to you too. Lions Talk Live fan, like I said, everyone talks smack about Lions until we win the Super Bowl. Hey, that's how it goes. JDC, Jake Bates does Burt Reynolds Cosmopolitan photo shoot. He might just do that. They might hang that all up over the visitors' locker room. Quitting greetings, salutations. I think Adams, Z. Smith, and Levi will step it up for this week. Yeah, me too, man. I think Adams has done a pretty good job. He got, a sack last week. Zadarius Smith, if you go back and look at his tape, I actually think he had a pretty good game last week. He just didn't get home. He had a couple near opportunities, but, he did what he needed to do. Rob, JDC, laughing out loud. So Malong, any official word on Anzalone yet? Probably not until Sunday. That's my guess, at least. Drum, good morning, Coach and Duku. The only one that's a little nervous? No, you're not the only one that's a little nervous. I think there's a whole lot of us that has some of that building up, especially as we get closer and closer to kickoff. Voltron Force, win or lose this game, I do expect us to play them again in the playoffs. No, I think you're probably right about that. We're probably going to face them again. The Trim Reaper, everyone needs to get ready for the winter storm of the century, bringing in deadly sub-zero temperatures hitting the entire East Coast. I did hear something about that. I haven't checked it out yet, but yeah, I knew there was like a winter cell coming through or whatever. Sort of like, man, what was it, 6-7 years ago where he got like negative 30 or something like that out there. Steve, good morning to Coach Dan and I, the amazing Duke crew, exclamation point. There will be nothing easy about this game. This is the team with the most grit in a division with the most grit. What a season, exclamation point. Woo! Yes, it's going to be even better as the season goes forward. Pat, good morning all. Same to you. Rob, Jerome, yes. The rest of us live in a blissful state of ignorance. Arrogance. Arrogance. How about that? Don, Detroit 33, Vikings 27. We are winning. I think you are correct. David, wouldn't it be something if Mosley made the play of the game to win it for us? Hey, it'd be good for him, man. It'd be a heck of a comeback story. Maybe the confidence boost he needs. Steve, Jerome, It's okay for you to be nervous. Yeah, 100%, man. But I can assure that Jared Goff is not, exclamation point. The man is a cold-blooded assassin. No, he's probably getting that reputation more and more over the last year or two. You look at him, and I get people still think and talk about him like Mike Florio does when he was, 23 and in L.A., but you know what? He's 30 years old. He's been through the wars. He's got tons of season and experience underneath him. He's been in that situation. He's been here. He's done that. He's adapted. JDC Drum Lotus, I am jumpier than a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Go Lions. I like that. Don't jump around too much. Rob Drum, enjoy the adrenaline rush, 100%. Lions Talk Live FM, AA would not be practicing if the medical staff didn't approve it. No, yeah, if he's not cleared to be out there, he wouldn't be out there. So they're just testing him out at this point, making sure he's A-OK. Burns, I want MCDC to bench Goff for Hendon Hooker, then blame Ben Johnson for it. That way no one will want him, and we can keep him for another year. I guess that's some outside-the-box thinking. Let's see, Henry Moore, what a time to be a Lions fan, exclamation point. Smack ain't jack. Talk is just talk. Let's go Lions. I agree with that, 100%. All right, guys, let's go ahead and bring over our special guest today. You know him, you love him. He is the host of the Boss Up, Ball Out podcast, Kurt the Hitman Steele. Kurt, what is happening this morning?
What up, though, Dan and the Dude Crew? What's going on, everybody? Great day to be alive, you know what I'm saying? Lions fans, what's the biggest game of the year? This is it. This is the biggest game of the year in the NFL, not just like for the Lions. This is the biggest game of the year for the entire league.
I think we all are aware of it. This is for all the marbles, number one seed, winning the division, yada, 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 home field advantage. This game has got so much buildup nationally. You can see it just Googling in Detroit versus, Vikings, Minnesota, whatever. You can see different reporters from all sorts of different publications writing about it. At the end of the day, this game is going to decide who gets number one seed and who is the first ever 14-win team to go on the road in the playoffs. Do you think, I know there's been some chatter about it, do you think the NFL should change the format so this doesn't happen again to a 14-win team?
Absolutely. I mean, we've been talking, there's been talk of this for years. People have said the same thing over and over again. The Viking can get out of our chat. I don't know why do we have fans from other fan bases coming in our shows and just trolling. Like, get out of here. Don't you have a Viking show to go watch? Get out of here, man. Like, but anyway, my thing is that you look at this team, you look at this game, a lot of eyes on it nationally, a lot of eyes on it everywhere. I just love the fact that this game is going to prove why we should have reseeding in the playoffs. Now, I'm not saying like your division winners should all still make the playoffs. That's a given. That's already in there. But then once you get everyone in, reseeding by record. You still have the AFC and the NFC, but you just reseed by record. That's just what it is. You still get kudos for being a division champ, but a 7-9 shouldn't give you the habit just because you won a division doesn't mean you have the right to have a home game just because of fact because you've had if you're a 7-10 team but you win your division, does that mean you should host a home playoff game? Absolutely not.
So when you look at this game, let's talk about the fact that you've got two great offenses coming in here. It's going to be a challenge for both defenses to do something.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk last week about the Lions look so completely bad on defense for the majority of the first half. Do you think that's just Kyle Shanahan schemed up some things to catch us off guard, or do you think Aaron Glenn was playing possum a little bit, trying to get some stuff ready or keep it under wraps for this game?
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, they took advantage. First 15, scripted plays.
Right.
They usually take advantage of whatever the weakness is for the other team. So, what I think it was a good scheme by Kyle Shanahan. Absolutely. I think that in the second half, the Lions just adjusted. AG adjusted the coverages. G adjusted the blitz packages, and they got some pressure on Brock Purdy. I think the same thing is going to be true this week, but I think it's going to be more of the fact where you're facing a familiar opponent. Like San Francisco, we faced them in the NFC Championship game, but we don't play them regularly. So it's not like you can go off the film from last year, but the guys that were there this year aren't the same guys that were there last year. So it kind of took a while to kind of get, adjusted to them. But we faced the Vikings, you know what I'm saying? It is earlier this year. Now I'm understanding like some of the players that are there now weren't there when we played them the first time, and then vice versa on us. So I'll say one thing is that the Vikings offensive line is not as good as it was when we faced them the first time.
Well, they lost their tackle, and I know they brought in the kid from the Jaguars.
Cam Robinson is not a good left tackle.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the young man, but he is not a good. Is he a solid left tackle? Yeah. Is he? We were taking advantage of the guy that was there that was the starter, and he's worse than the guy that was the starter who he replaced. Yeah, nah, I'm not worried about Cam Robinson. And here's the thing, we didn't have Aiden Hutchinson in that game. We got plenty of pressure on Sam Darnold in that game.
Right.
We got him down for a sack. He is been sacked a lot this year. I think he's like the fourth highest sacked quarterback in the league. So, and I believe the AG would dial some pressures up. I think it'll be relentless this game. I think it'll be all game. I don't think it will. He's not trying to let him get into a rhythm. Good morning, Trim Reaper. What's going on, everybody? But yeah, it's one of those things where it's going to be two high-powered offenses versus two, like, as far, especially in the passing game, we have two. This is two of like the worst passing defenses in the league. Like, people can say how bad our pass defense is, but so is the Vikings. People talk about they blitzing and everything like this. We're the 31st ranked pass defense. They're 28th. That's not a lot of wiggle room. But I mean,
right.
That's pretty even. You know what I'm saying? So you got two teams with two weaknesses, and like with all the stuff that they do, Jared Goff's had his number. Jared Goff is 0-3 versus Brian Flores' defense since he's been in Detroit.
You mean 3-0?
Yeah, 3-0. Screw. I'm sorry, 3-0. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's early. I haven't had a cup of coffee yet. But yeah, so we're 3-0 versus those defenses with Jared Goff. And here's one little tidbit that's kind of floating out there that it kind of came out the other day in a press conference. When Brian Flores took over the Dolphins, guess what's his first thing he did?
What you got?
Fire Ben Johnson. That's the first thing he did when he took over as head coach.
Ain't that something?
You don't think we got an axe to grind against that cat? It's an axe to grind on both sides. So, yeah. If you look at this game, man, it's all the marbles. I'm wearing my Motor City Muscle jersey. I wear it again, and I'm wearing it all weekend. Make sure I'll refresh it a little bit, but yeah, this is for all the marbles, and I think that for everything that has been said about this game, I believe that both teams will leave everything on the table. Everything is coming out the bag. Everything's going to be on the line. So, and I think that we have a couple guys that's on our team that have the axe to grind. So I think everything's going to be on the table for this game. Every trick play, everything to expose the weaknesses on both defenses. Like for us, it's we struggle in zone coverage, but we run mostly man.
Yep.
They struggle in zone coverage and they run mostly zone.
Right.
Like you look at that game, Green Bay had two games where they could have came back and beaten the Vikings, man. You just gotta find the mismatch and exploit it, and that's on both sides of the ball for both teams. So I think it's gonna be a high scoring game. I think the over under right now is like 57.5 points or some crazy crap like that. So it's gonna be a high score. It's almost 60 points for this game. So I think it's gonna be one of those ones where Sunday Night Football. This is gonna be probably the best Sunday Night Football game ever.
Oh, I imagine
in the history of the league. And I will say this. There's two things that Dan Campbell, since we've been on this winning streak or become a winning franchise, he's good at winning on the road, 8-0 this year, and winning in primetime games.
I'll go with that. So
when last time we Lions played in primetime and lost?
Boy, I can't remember one. It would have to. Oof. Obviously, this year it wasn't Tampa Bay. Man, I'm trying to think the last time they lost a primetime game. Yeah, it wouldn't be easy to find.
Wouldn't be easy to find at all. So,
So Brian Flores'
yeah.
defense. I get he likes to mix in a lot of different blitzes, zone coverage on the back end of it, try to catch offensive lines, off guard or ill prepared. Why do you think Jared Goff has been so good against him, especially?
I think it's the fact that what Ben Johnson has him doing in control of this offense, man. He knows, like, first of all, he's good against the blitz anyway. It's just period. That's was one thing, but he doesn't fall for the smoke screen. So, like, if you look at like all the stuff that they all the eye candy they bring up the line of scrimmage, and I'll talk about this later on my show. It's just one of those things where it's like you know all this stuff bringing up guys in line, but there's one thing that the Lions offense uses to kind of get rid of that stuff. First of all, they play fast when they play against the Vikings. Second of all, they use motion, and you can get that defense to tip their hand when you run in motion, because someone's gonna have to adjust because someone's moving in a different position. So you look at that. I think it's one of the tools that Jared Goff uses against the Vikings defense, where he's looking at like, all right, if I move this guy here, I can see if they're playing man or zone. Most likely, if they don't move, okay, they didn't move, and they're playing their typical zone. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? So, and they know how to find the weaknesses in the Vikings defense. And here's I'll give a tidbit to the Duke crew. I just like sharing information sometimes. The Lions wide receivers are either wide open or Jared Goff makes tough throws in this offense. The Lions have only drawn one pass interference this year, and that was in the Dallas game with Tim Patrick. All the other times, the guys are wide open.
Right.
Or they have a step. So this offense is predicated on getting guys open. So they're putting their guys in the best predicament to win. There's not a lot of 50-50 balls in this offense because they don't first of all, they don't have it's not really the play that Jared Goff is really great at. But second of all, it's putting the guys in a position to win. And I think I do the same thing this weekend versus the Vikings.
So if you were to look at the Lions defense and say, hey, obviously it's going to be a challenge for both defenses. I think everybody, whether you're for our team or their team, both teams are going to probably realistically say it's going to be a challenge for us to get stops. If you look at us, what do you think we're going to do to try to limit some of their abilities or maybe try to get a turnover or two?
I think it's the pressure on Sam Darnold. I think that they're gonna send an extra guy. Is going to be more man. I think they have with Iffy being back, and if Anzalone's back, and just with Reeves maybe being back, they have the linebackers and they have an extra safety that can play man coverage. So it's not going to be more on, it's not going to be reliable on zone. Now it will be a double team versus Justin Jefferson. That's just that's how it's going to roll. That's just how it's going to roll. But I mean, you just can't leave that guy one-on-one. That's just bananas. You just don't do that. But you always roll in safety help over to his side. So when you look at this, though, we have the guys underneath with if Anzalone comes back. And then with Jack Campbell, being able to play better coverage this year as well, you're going to play some smart coverage underneath, and you're going to roll that extra defender into the box to slow down either one Aaron Jones or get pressure after Sam Darnold.
Okay. Who do you think leads the Lions in sacks, and why do you say Brian Branch?
Why do I say Brian Branch? No, it's not going to be Brian Branch.
Okay.
It's gonna be Iffy.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I think both of them probably have pretty big games.
And I will watch out for Josh Pascal, but Josh Pascal got a couple of good pressures when they played last time. Because you look at this defensive line, the only guy that's missing from playing that last time that we played them is Aleem McNeil, but we didn't have Darius Smith then, so right. there's a backfill in that position. So we're gonna have enough of guys up front to get pressure on Sam Darnold. I mean, 46 sacks this season, the fourth most in the league. You can get after Sam Darnold.
Yeah, most people don't remember that Hutchinson was out for that game, and I get some other guys were in and such. Speaking of guys coming back, Alex Anzalone, what is your expectations for him Sunday if he does it in fact get elevated and activated for the game?
He's gonna play first of all. He's gonna be on a snap count. It just is what it is. I think it's going to be important for them to get him some live reps before the postseason starts, and I think they're going to, play him. They've already have the extra spot on the roster. They released Tom Kennedy yesterday, and that follows the release of
Adams. Jamal.
No, Adams on the practice squad. It was Maurice Norris, who went back to the practice squad. So you have those two slots open. And that's going to be for Leaf and for Alex Anzalone. I think the Kennedy was one is going to be the one for Leaf, and then of course the Norris on the defensive side is going to be for Alex Anzalone. I just don't see how he goes into the postseason without any live reps. Right. I mean, even if it's just limited, I think he's going to get some shine and some run on this in this game. Even if it's 25% of the snaps, and you got to look at this. In the last time we played them, Demon was playing rotational role, and so was Nowinski. Nowinski had the game in the sack. So these guys, and like when they're playing brand new guys against the Vikings, these guys have had significant snaps against the Vikings.
No, I'm with you. I think it's going to be a great matchup. One, the other part is I think you're right about getting Alex Anzalone some snaps just from a coaching standpoint. Like you brought up, you want to get him out there somewhat before the playoffs just so he can get kind of his feet wet, gets the rust off. You look at the difference, in my opinion, at least from Iffy's first game to last game, you could see reacts a little bit faster, cleans some things up quicker. I got to imagine Jalen Reeves-Maben will look better this week than he did last week. He looked pretty gassed, I thought, at moments last week. And kind of the same thing with Anzalone. So you can't replace Aleem, you can't replace Hutch, but getting those guys out there and, even Cleve Raymond, getting some of the rust off him, getting him back to game speed, I think that's a big plus for us. If you had to look into your, Mountain Dew of Fate, your Towel of Destiny, or whatever else you want to peer into, let me ask you one big burning question as we were getting some of these guys back. We're seeing more and more video of Hutchinson running, et cetera, et cetera. Do you think this adds any kind of more validity to the potential he returns somewhere in the playoffs?
It would have to be the final game. It would have to be the Super Bowl. I don't see him returning before then. I mean, even if he's activated, maybe say the NFC Championship game, I don't think he plays in it. I think he will play in the Super Bowl. I think he needs those extra week of preparation between the Super Bowl and between the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl just to make sure he's right. But I think that is going to be that last game. And I just want him to be healthy and be right, and he can make some moves. He's not. We can look how far it is away from the Super Bowl. We're looking at about a month from now. We're looking at the Super Bowl a little over a month. Well, yeah, over a month. So you're looking at that where he can get the actual running on ground, you know what I'm saying? And, getting his actual footing and, making sure he's right. So it's one of those things where I'm looking at it like, they can get there without him.
I agree.
And I think they can win it without him at this point because this team, and you don't want to do this, but it is what it is. This team can outscore any team in the NFL. Absolutely 100%. No, I have no qualms about that. I have no reservation about saying that the Lions can outscore anybody.
So here's my question. Because it was going to be my last question for you, just because, you then brought up the trick plays and everything. Last week, I thought Ben Johnson, when I rewatched the game, I came up with 12 different unique situations, formations, whatever. And that seemed like a ton for him because it's almost like he was trying to throw so much out there. And I know we've talked about it before to force the Vikings to prepare for it. How many trick plays or odd formations are you really anticipating Ben Johnson will use this game?
I don't think he will use any.
Okay. No trick plays. All right.
I think that's a head game. He didn't use any last game when last time they played the Vikings.
You didn't. No.
And I would say this, but it puts it out there in the mind of the Vikings and Brian Flores.
Yes.
I don't remember her name. She was on Up and Adams the other day. She says sometimes you're not running the plays in the game for the team that you're playing. You're running those plays for the team you're going to play next.
Correct.
So, and I'm looking at this game. It's going to be, everything is going to be on the line. So will he use trick plays? He may, because of the fact that it's going to do whatever it's going to take to win this game. The Lions are going to do it.
So so you're saying that Penei Sewell may throw a touchdown pass this game? He may not. Fair enough.
He may not. I don't know. He may get a touchdown pass thrown to him. I don't know.
I mean, not that it matters or anything or comes into play, but that kid is just so dang athletic and powerful. I'm actually surprised, somebody that at one point in his career coming up, make him a tight end or something like that. But I'm glad we got him at an offensive lineman. Yeah. All right, Kurt Steele, as always, want to thank you for popping on the show. Why don't you go ahead and give yourself a little bit of a shout out to everybody where to find your great work and come listen to you and the Boss Up Ball Up podcast.
Yeah, the Boss Up Ball Up podcast will be on this morning live. Come check us out on our YouTube channel. Y'all know how we get down. Y'all see the logo. You see this logo. You're on the right place. You're on the right channel. So me and my man LL gonna hold it down this morning, man. We're gonna get down, talk Lions, talk keys to victory. And we're going to talk about the latest Detroit Lions news and rumors. So come check us out this morning over on the Boss Up All Out podcast.
All right. He is Kurt the Hitman Steele. Go check him out. Give him some support. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. So, Kurt, as always, man, thanks for coming on. And, hey, can't wait to talk to you after this one.
Yeah, see you guys in about 10 minutes.
All right. We'll see you then. All right, we'll finish up the Duke crew and then get you guys out of here and over there. The Trim Reaper, Z Boom will get to Darnold 100%. And just for you guys, I do think the Lions are going to use a lot of different blitzes. I know we've talked about a little bit, pre-snap, post-snap adjustments by the Lions. Or again, I'm going to be watching when we host the show or whatever, the live stream for it, the live cast. I want to see what they do early in the game because to me, I want to see what they do at the start of each quarter. So start of quarter 1, 2, that's where usually, not always, but usually coaches make some adjustments. Hey, we gave you this look now we're going to switch it to something else and try to catch teams off guard, especially if you start a quarter and you're on the defensive side of the ball. I want to see those adjustments. I think it's going to be a big chess match, and I think the Lions, if you go back and watch Darnold this year, where he's good, where he's, maybe hasn't been as great this year, because to be fair to Sam Darnold, he's had a pretty dang good season. But I think if you can get him to roll against his body, so, rolling to his left, and if he has to throw that part of the field where you eliminated it in half or to just that segment of the field that he's now escaped to, him throwing cross body has not been a strength of his. I think especially if you can blitz with a little bit of zone coverage behind that and make him throw a crossbody, that's where you're going to get some real good opportunities for sacks or picks on that one. So just food for thought for you guys. Eddie's Fish, to all the Vikings fans that are talking trash, if you guys lose, do not feel bad. That is why I do not talk trash. To all the Lions fan base, do not talk trash. Yep, some do, some don't. I've never really been big into it. Unless you get my face talking it, then I talk it right back. Let's see, True Grip Morning, back at you. Southwest Lions, if he may step up, I think so. He's definitely, and again, he didn't play the last game against them, so he could be a bit of a Z factor there. Let's see, D13, Zettler got hosed as well. Yeah, and I mentioned that earlier this show. To me, I'm really surprised by that. Same with Kirby. We all get why, Kirby, him getting not left put on the Pro Bowl, that's a shame. But Zettler, man, he's got to be right now one of the top 1 or 2 guards in the NFL. How is he not on that list? That's why I really don't pay attention to the Pro Bowl, man. True Grit, he's full practice. Okay. Let's see, Great Lakes. Good morning, coach and crew. Exclamation point. Can you explain Anzalone's injury, and do you think it's worth him coming back since he's secured the playoffs? Since we've secured the playoffs. Forearm fracture. At this point, unless there's just something really odd or unusual happening with it, it should be fully healed. Now, whether or not it's fully re-strengthened, that's a different story. And as a linebacker or we'll just say a defender, you've got to be able to pull people down. Do you want to risk straining something or whatever? I don't know. Me, myself, as long as the medical staff said he's good to go, there's, no realistic expectation of injury or re-injury, I should say, then yeah, play him. I know Kurt Steele brought it up. I know I brought it up all week long. I probably brought it up for a few weeks. As a coach, I want them out there, even if it's a limited basis, to shake off some of that rust. Again, not to use Ife Melifonwu as the example all the time, but watch his first game back this season versus game 2. There's a noticeable difference when you watch him turning his hips, using his elbows, getting in and out of breaks, getting on people. His reactionary times, is what I should say, are vastly better from week 1 to 2. It should be much better from week 2 to 3. Alex Anzalone, just like Jalen Reeves-Maben, you should be able to see it with Reeves-Maben where he's better this week than last week. Alex Anzalone, I'd be getting him out there just because, again, the next game's a playoff game. I want him to be a little bit better, a little less rusty. Eddie Fish, because it will make you look bad. That's why I do not like talking trash. That's why did they release wide receiver Tom Kennedy? Probably just to open up a roster spot. Let's see, and probably for Khalif Raymond. Southwest Lions, Eddie Fish. Most of us Lions fans have been through the lean years. We know that on any given Sunday, anybody can pretty much beat anybody. Yeah, 100%. That's life in the NFL. Bo, it would be great to see Leaf return punts. I think you're probably going to get him to do that. All right, hey, Broski Bear, we're just going to go ahead and put you in another timeout. All right, there we go. Trying to put him in timeout again. All right, anyways, we'll get to it. Unless it's already been done. Anyways, all right, John, we don't need a trash talk. We let the trash talk by playing the game. I'm down with that. One God, good morning, Coach. And what up, question mark, do crew? What's up to you? Hopefully you're doing well. Bruce Insider hit the Vikings so hard they will think they're a chicken that just got caught in the tractors. I'll go with that. Rob Broski Bear is back. Welcome, Pally. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he has a hard time staying away, doesn't he? True, Sam will get his bell rung by us. Well, maybe. Let's see, Daniel, I'm hoping it's a clean game for the Lions without the massive errors. No spotting the Vikings 7 points like last game. Yeah, remember last game we were down 10-0, and yeah, some of it was because we gave up 7. But it is what it is. We'll go out there and see what we can do. I think we're going out there and winning. Phil, good morning. Back at you, Phil. John Broski is the Viking, probably. Brian. Coward needs to be loud now that we're good. Too many fans sitting. Probably true. Trim Reaver, see you soon, Kurt. Well, yes, you will. Rob, boss up. Mano Steele. Marcus, hey, good to see you, man. It feels like it's been the Lions ran a fake punt last time they played Minnesota. Yeah, and that's why we got down 10-0. Joe, Big Dan has a plan. Probably very true. Don, let's see, Donnie Burr, what is he got? Crowd being loud is the least of our worries. Probably, yep. Trump's Viking. That's why Dirty Hobble. Did you crawl out from under? Might be. Lions Talk Live fan, hit that thumbs up button, please. Yeah, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, if you would, please. JDC, open invite to the Viking for the Lions Talk Live Victory Monday show. 100%. Come on over. You know he won't. It's true, Grit. He's not experienced as much as Goff. Yeah, and Goff, one of the biggest advantages to having him out there is the fact he does have all that experience. And my goodness, Broski, how many accounts do you have, man? I keep putting him in timeout, and he keeps having more. Let's see, Southwest Line, we don't need to get in-game adjustments. We need serious adjustments, okay? Trump's, see who is all-pro. Correct, yes. That would be the big tell there. Let's see, Gmo. Let's see, good morning, Coach and Duke crew. Go Lions. Woo! Back at you. Justin, the Viking, stop lying. Nobody is doing a Viking live show. Correct. Paul, Coach Dan, we all know the Pro Bowl is a joke, but our boy Kirby and Zettler are all pros like a bunch of our Lions are. Yeah, really surprised those guys didn't get on. Let's see, JDC, Motor City Duke crew, I concur. Domber, let the Vikings fan talk. We'll see them in the end. 100%. Don Burr, I agree, says Justin. Rob, trolling the show is a cockamania hobby, just a swinging pally. Yeah, and I think we all know who it is. Vike Queen, we are going to sweep the Vikings just like we did the Teddy Bears. Yes, and funny how one of those Bears fans disappeared after the failed Mary. How about that? Or the Hailed Mary, I guess it would be. Bo, happy trails, dude crew. All done and dusted. See for another damn Damas Day. See y'all later. We'll see you then, man. Ryan Vikings haven't won in Detroit in 3 since Campbell been here. That is also true. Yeah, I want to say they gave us our first win ever under Dan Campbell, so there was that. Broski, watch Hawkinson. We all know he can ball. Yeah, 100%. I'm sure they're going to be planning for him. 100% there, Brooke Insider. JDC, Rob, all that swinging and missing is causing a breeze. There you go. Keith, who is this? Well, we're all Lions fans. How about that? JDC, happy trails. Go Lions. Victory, 100%. And Rob, JDC, laughing out loud. All right, guys, if you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. Also, if you would be so kind before checking out, hit that thumbs up button and that like button. If there is breaking news today, I'll get over to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, take care. Go enjoy the rest of your day. If you can, do something nice for someone you don't know. We'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody.
Excuse me, sir, would you... Donations to the Reverend Moon? Jews for Jesus? Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism? Help Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology? Or nuclear power?